Hi there, I'm DJ Waldow, and I'm turning 50 on February 23rd, 2026. So, for the next 50 or so days, I'm recording one episode a day that shares something that I've learned, some takeaway from my almost 50 years on this planet. Today's thing, lucky number 13, is competitive sports are complicated. Let's get into it. All right, thing number 13, competitive sports are complicated. Oh, if that's not an understatement of the year. This one will resonate with you, I hope, if you're a parent who has kids who are in competitive sports, or if have other family members who are in competitive sports, or if you played in competitive sports. This is both for the parents. This is an episode for kids. And it's really honestly a tricky one for me because I have this love-hate, this mixed relationship, if you will, with competitive sports. On one hand, I absolutely love them. I love that our kids are moving their bodies and being active. I love that they're part of a team. I love that they can fail. I love that they can, what was it, thing number 11, figure it out. I love all that about sports. I love when they're put in these positions where my son's on the mound and there's all this pressure and he has to figure out, can he get out of this? And he might fail. In fact, he's likely to fail, especially in baseball. But I love that. I love the lessons learned, the team building, the bonding, all of that stuff for my kids. I absolutely love. As a parent, I love watching my kids. It's really fun watching them and seeing that joy in them. In fact, I even like watching them struggle, even though it's painful, of course, but I like seeing that because I know there's growth on the other end of that. And to be clear, our kids are locked in. I mean, we have a kid playing lacrosse, we've got water polo, swim, baseball, soccer, all the things. Our kids are doing so many different sports. It's insane. But there's another side of it, especially for the kid. And if you're a parent whose child plays competitive sports, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's the pressure, there are the expectations, and there's a lot of intensity, sometimes really early. I mean, our twins are 10 and they've been playing competitive soccer this is their third season. And if I'm being honest, parents are often really part of the problem, aren't we always? And I'm in no way excluding myself from this. In no way. I have certainly been part of the problem. I've yelled from the sidelines. I've yelled at a ref. I don't know if I've been kicked out of a game, but I've come awfully close. I've booed the other team for doing something that drove me crazy. I'm not proud of any of those things, but I've also seen some really bad behavior by parents. I've seen parents screaming back and forth at each other. I've seen parents screaming at their kid. I've seen a kid come off a field absolutely bawling while the parent was berating them. Awful stuff. And sometimes we as parents, let's be honest, we care about whatever the sport is more than our kids even care. I've actually watched kids from the field turn to their parents and yell to them to shut up, to stop yelling at them, to stop telling them what to do. The thing I worry about for kids especially, again, they're still trying to figure everything out. They're trying to figure out who they are and what they like. They're understanding this dynamics of being on a team and being a team player and being a leader and being a follower and being the best and being the worst and being in the middle and being forgotten and being left on the bench and being a starter. But suddenly, all we care about is winning. We just want our kids to win that game and win that tournament. You know, these silly weekend tournaments that have 4 teams in them. And it's like a huge deal if our kid wins his soccer tournament. Who cares? It's really getting out of control. But as I mentioned, again, I love it. I love it. You can see this internal struggle. I love kids are put in these uncomfortable situations. I mean, thing number 1 is choose discomfort. Sometimes I don't choose it. They're just slammed into this uncomfortable spot. My son one year was a goalie in overtime in a shootout. Can you imagine the pressure of that at 9, 10 years old? I love that they show up and go to practice even when they don't want to. My son one year went to practice and it's raining sideways and 40 degrees and he's out there. And I said, well, you come in the car and hang out with me. He didn't want to. He wanted to just get out there and play. I love that passion for the sport. Love it. But again, we overschedule. We overwatch. We sit and watch our kids at practice. What are we doing? And we over-optimize. We try to have our kids do all of it. And I keep coming back to this because I don't want you to think I'm preaching, even though it kind of sounds like I'm preaching. I do the same thing. I'm in the mix of this, right? I'm trying to back away now as I'm approaching 50, but I'm right in the mix. One of the things I learned years ago is to ask my kids how they want me to cheer for them. I have one kid who doesn't want me to say a word. Another kid who wants me to yell his name during the game and cheer for him at all times. Another kid who my wife just gives a thumbs up to during a game. And that's enough. Ultimately, I think comp sports are good for kids. I think sports in general are good for kids. But as parents, we need to let them practice. We need to let them play. We need to let them fail. And we need to give them space. Let's be honest. The goal isn't scholarships or trophies. Who cares about all that stuff? There's so few of your kids who are going to go and make it to the next level. Listen, if our kids play high school sports, we've got one now that's playing a high school sport. That's amazing. I love that for them. I don't have expectations my kids are going to go beyond that. Would it be amazing if they did? Of course. But let them enjoy the sport. Remember, the goal is learning, failing, and growing. That's what sports are all about. Whew, that was a little bit heavier than I thought it would be. Sorry, not sorry. That was thing number 13. Sports, specifically competitive sports, are competitive. If you liked this episode, if something in it resonated with you, please go to TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, all the things. My personal channels. I've created a channel for 50things.co everywhere. You can go to 50things.co right now and subscribe, and you'll get an email in your inbox every day. You can forward this episode to somebody, whether you're listening on Spotify or YouTube. Thank you so much for listening. I really, truly, truly appreciate it. And I will talk to you tomorrow for thing number 14.